share them. Can you hear me correctly?
We hear you well, and yeah, we see you as well. Okay. Try to share your slides.
Yeah, I do it. Okay, is it good?
Yes, perfect. Please go ahead and close it.
Perfect. So thanks for this opportunity to be with you remotely. So I'm Emmanuel Bertin. I'm a researcher at Orange, the telecom operator. So I have both activity. I am a researcher, but I have also more a business-related activity to develop the blockchain business within Orange. And so it's more the business part than the research part that I will address today, because I thought we had a lot of interesting talks about the vision on how to enhance the current blockchain mechanism, and also on the use cases like for healthcare. So here I will really focus on how to use blockchain for the telecom business case. And by the way, I'm also chairing the Brains conference dedicated to blockchain. So there will be, this year it will be in Berlin, in Germany. Submission is in for 20 of May this year. So if you are interested to submit your work to the Brains conference, you will be welcome. So the main point and the main conviction I have is that Web3, let's define Web3 as DLT and IPFS, and the use of both, will really transform the way we are, the society as a whole, and especially the way companies are operating. Because it provides a decentralized platform that could be common to different companies, and also to public firms or public organizations, like for healthcare, for whatever, for logistics, for and so on, and all the use case we discussed today. So Web3 has really the potential to build that. However, it's not so simple to move from this vision, to move to this vision, to move from the reality to these visions. And so why is it not so simple? The first element is that smart contracts, which are basis of how we can use this technology, are quite different from the legal contracts and from the legal world. And we have a lot of things that are really more positive in the smart contracts, but it is different. And when something is different, it's also hard to move. So basically, in a legal contract, we have a litigation system, which is the law under which the contract is defined, an enforcement system, which is all the judiciary mechanism, and also monetary system. With a smart contract, we have no possible litigation, because basically the code is always right, sorry. We have also no real enforcement mechanism because it is enforced by design, also by the software. And the money is also here. Also, there is a monetary system that is usually a crypto token. And so the fact that the contract there is no associated enforcement system and no litigation system because the code is always right, is something that is really changing the mindset of how the contract should be designed. And this is, let's say, an illustration of the shift that should be addressed in order to move to real technologies, from technology to real businesses. Keeping that in mind, there were several, I mean, since 5 years, a really large number of prototypes have been done in the telecom world. Most of them are synthesized here. First, there were prototypes for traceability and logistics, and all the logistic chain for telecom component. Sorry. There were also attempts to build a global settlement on platforms, especially for example, for roaming, because as you may know, telecom operators have between them a lot of agreements and a lot of then monetary exchanges between them according to the move of the customer from one network to another network. And so telecom operators and tech people like us thought that this settlement on roaming case was a very good case for a blockchain infrastructure, because all the operator already knows them. There are already consortium like GSMA that are built between these operators. So the only things to do was basically to build a blockchain, to operate it, and to enable the different operators to monitor the traffic, and then at the end to issue the settlement between them in real time. So the benefits are there, but however, it appears to be very difficult to address, because how can I say, it's always complicated to replace to say to a company that it should invest money to replace something that is already working by something that should already work, that will also work, but perhaps a bit better, but basically will do the same thing. So that's why it appeared to be hard to use blockchain for, let's say, existing use cases, because by definition, let's say, these existing use cases have been achieved using something else than blockchain. And so it's quite hard to justify the need of investment to build a new system. So the other example I put here, like payment, IoT, data spaces, decentralized identity, and also beyond 5G and 6G networks are more new topics that can be addressed by telecom operators. And these emerging topics are more interesting for the blockchain technology, or to apply the blockchain technology, because there is still everything is still to do there. So that's a bit a picture to explain our journey with blockchain for telecoms. Not so easy as planned. Again, it was not so easy as planned, because it's not only a technology matter. So you see, it's a technology matter, of course, but it's also a question of business model transformation and transformation of the ecosystem. I should have even perhaps put the technology picture even smaller. To say it's technology is at the end not the most important part there. And there has been also business model transformation, but the question is, how should the business be transformed, and in which way to move to this kind of models? And also, in terms of ecosystem, what can be the role of regulatory bodies? How should they also transform or perhaps push for blockchain technologies? And just I will conclude this talk by two slides. The first one on this business model shift. So I believe that blockchain should encourage the companies to move from a pure competitive business model, saying that basically one company is competing with another company, with all the competitors, to more consortiums that can be mission oriented. It can, of course, it can be also part of competition, but there are some matters for which companies need to join their forces. For example, when we talk about recycling, when we talk about renewable energy and so on, there are missions that can be common to different companies, even if they are competing. And so these kind of mission-oriented consortiums are basically very easily enabled by the blockchain technology. But if we build this consortium only relying, let's say, of contracts and papers, as we used to do, we miss the power of blockchain. And there should be also a shift of mindset of moving for contracts that are, as I presented just before, paper-based contracts, legal contracts, to code-based contracts. that was also the idea behind the blockchain technologies from the beginning, but we should progressively try to infuse that in the different companies in order to say that we can build consortiums that are not defined only by their by the legal contracts, but that are also defined by the code which makes them run. And finally, because most of us are tech people, so there are also tech challenges to address to widespread the blockchain technology. I put some of them there in terms of trade-off. For example, we talk about privacy versus data availability and persistence with one of the previous speakers. There is also a question of user experience. So how to make a user experience that is very easy and to combine a very easy user experience with a secure key management of the blockchain keys, knowing that of course, normal people will lose their keys and so on, but we should still keep the security part of the blockchain. For privacy and data availability, sorry, the point is that as the data are there for always in the blockchain, if data are immutable, how can it be combined with the privacy and the right to be forgotten? Scalability and smart contract security. So if we want to verify and to check that the smart contract do not contain backdoors or are not malicious and so on, this can need some time, and how can this be combined with scalability? And finally, how do we address regulatory compliance? And perhaps there is, network companies are really supervised, and there are a lot of regulatory compliance needed. And how can we transfer this kind of compliance with the blockchain? And how can we ensure that the states also have a part there? So this concludes my talk. And again, as the other speaker, I will be very happy to exchange with you by email or in any way about questions, and to see you perhaps next year there. Thank you.